Hi and welcome to this video. Here I'm going to be explaining how you calculate the pH at the start and at the equivalence point of a titration. These are two of the titration calculations that you need to be able to undertake. I've picked these two to start with because they are the most kind of obvious and they use the information that you've already learned about calculating the pH of a weak acid or a weak base. Okay, so the initial pH is literally just the concentration of a calculation of the pH of a weak acid or a weak base, based on either pKa, pKb, Ka, or Kb. All right, so this is just the same as those calculations of the pH of a weak acid or a weak base that we've done previously. Because at the start of a titration, all you've got is your weak acid or weak base, or occasionally strong acid and strong base, in which case look at those videos. That's all that's present. There's nothing else there. So actually, the initial pH calculation is by far and away the easiest of all of the titration calculations that you're going to have to do. So for example, here's a question, I think this one was about 2016, maybe 2017, where there was a titration of hydrobromic acid, which is a strong acid, with 20 mils of aqueous methylamine. Okay, there's the equation. Now methylamine, of course, is a weak base because it can accept a proton to form the methyl ammonium ion. We've got the Ka of methyl ammonium, not the Kb of methanamine, because they like to make things slightly tricky. There's a titration curve. And the question is simply that the solution has a pH of 11.8 at the start. This is a reverse type process, so it's figuring out what is, or proving that the concentration of that solution is 0.0912 mole per litre. So this is just like the calculations with a weak acid and a weak base that we've talked about previously. All you're going to do, start, okay, we've got the pH, we can convert that into an H3O plus concentration. Cool, so we know the H3O plus concentration, and therefore we can work out the OH minus concentration. If you prefer to use Ka to work this out, feel free. I'm going to work this out using Kb, but you can take this information and use it for Ka as well. Okay, we know that the Kb, well, we've got the Ka for the conjugate acid, so we can work out the Kb for methanamine using Kw. So we've got the Kb. We know that the formula, that the equation Kb equals the concentration of OH minus times the concentration of the conjugate acid divided by the concentration of the undissociated base, which is what we're trying to find. So here we go. There's our formula. Now, because this is just a pure sample of our methylamine, then we can assume that the concentration of the methyl ammonium ion and the concentration of hydroxide are going to be equal. So we can simplify and rearrange that equation to calculate the concentration of our methylamine. Substituting and solving with units of moles per litre, and yay, we've done it right, we've got the correct answer, because in this case we were told to show by calculation that this was the concentration. We have now shown by calculation, I should say. Okay, so that's at the initial pH, and sometimes the question is just calculate the initial pH, in which case it's even simpler than that. So you just need to think through what you're doing. At the equivalence point, it's almost quite similar, because what you have to do is think about what species are actually present in my solution and at what relevant concentrations. So if you're starting off with a weak acid, that weak acid is all going to be converted into a conjugate base. If you're titrating with a weak base, for example, it's all going to be converted into the conjugate acid. So at the equivalence point, there will be none of the original or added weak acid or weak base present, because it will have all been converted into the conjugate acid or base. but the total volume of the solution will have changed because you've been adding the titrant as you've been going through your titration, which means that a dilution will have occurred. So what you need to figure out first is what is the new concentration, and from that you can then calculate the pH of a weak acid or a weak base, which is basically what you've got present, just using those Ka and Kb calculations that we've talked about previously. So here's another example. In this case, this one I think was 2015. We've got 20 mils of hydrofluoric acid of a concentration of 0.258 mol per litre. And we're titrating it with sodium hydroxide. The titration curve is shown there, and you can see that the equivalence point, which is marked on the graph, occurs at a pH after 20 mils of sodium hydroxide has been added. So the question that this particular exam paper asked was to explain why the pH at the equivalence point was greater than 7. And you can see that that's probably about 8.1, 8.2, just by reading off the graph. So to answer that question first, you need to talk about how at the equivalence point all of the HF has been converted into F-. F- is the conjugate base of HF. There's my equation to show that F- is a conjugate base, and consequently, because the solution is a dilute weak base, the pH will be greater than 7. That's all we need to say. Now, I want to show you how you calculate the pH at the equivalence point in this situation, although that wasn't the question that was asked. So, at the equivalence point, we've added 20 mils of sodium hydroxide to the original 20 mils that we started with. So we've now got a total volume of 40 mils. That means we've got basically a 1:2 dilution going on. So if we assume that all of the HF has been converted into sodium fluoride, which is fluoride ions, which is our weak base, then we can work out the concentration of our fluoride ions simply by taking the original concentration of hydrofluoric acid and then diluting that 50%, because if all of the particles of HF have been turned into F-, then the same number of particles will be there, simply diluted by 50%, 20 over 40. So we've got that. At this point, it's simply a calculation of the pH of a weak base. And again, I prefer to use Kb for this. If you prefer to use Ka, then please do that. That's fine. So if we know the pKa, which you were given in the question, we can work out pKb, and therefore we can work out Kb. We can then put in the formula. And of course, what we can assume, again at the equivalence point, because we have effectively a pure solution of sodium fluoride, is that all of the concentrations of hydrofluoric acid and hydroxide ions are going to be equal. So we can simply rearrange and substitute that, so we can work out the hydroxide ion concentration. From that, I again like to work pOH and therefore into pH. And look at that, that number is 8.14, which is very similar to what it looked like off that graph. However, don't ever just read it off the graph and make a guesstimate and go, oh, it's going to be about somewhere between 8 and 8.2. Yeah, it is. But if you're asked to do a calculation, that'll get you nowhere. So calculating the pH either initially or at the equivalence point is basically just using the same calculations for the concentration of a weak acid or a weak base that we talked about earlier on in the topic. The next video, I'm going to show you how to calculate the pH at any other point in the titration. And this is really where you have to start putting your thinking caps on and not just following a system blindly. I hope you found this useful, and I'll see you again soon.